It was a Thursday evening in downtown Manhattan, and the rain hadn't let up since noon. The city streets were slick with reflections, neon signs melting into puddles, tail lights bleeding across wet asphalt. Horns blared, umbrellas bobbed, and steam curled from subway grates. But within the glowing glass shell of Lucent, none of that mattered. Inside, the world was quiet perfection. Jazz whispered from hidden speakers. Tall white candles flickered on every table, casting a soft light over crystal glasses and polished cutlery. Waiters moved like dancers, their footsteps muffled against velvet carpet. Patrons in silk dresses and bespoke suits spoke in low, comfortable tones, sipping $900 Bordeaux like it was water. Every table had been reserved for weeks, if not months. It was the kind of place where money wasn't flashed. It was assumed. The doors opened with a bee. Soft chime, heads turned, subtly at first, then more directly. Into the golden sanctuary walked a woman. No umbrella, no reservations, no hesitation. Her coat was soaked through, dark with rain, and her boots left muddy prints on the pristine white marble. Her hair clung to her face in damp strands, and her cheeks were flushed from the cold. But none of that embarrassed her. In fact, she walked like she belonged there. Or at least, like she had something more important to do than worry about fitting in. Behind the black lacquered host stand stood Alicia, the maitre d', a vision of urban elegance. Her hair was pinned in a flawless chignon, and her lipstick matched the red roses by the entrance exactly. Alicia arched one delicate eyebrow. "Good evening," she said, her voice honey smooth but guarded. "Do you have a reservation?" The woman, breath catching in her throat for just a moment, shook her head. "No," she said. "I'm not here to eat." "Then I'm afraid I need to speak to Mr. Thorne." A pause. Just a few seconds, but heavy enough that a nearby couple paused mid-sip of their wine. "I beg your pardon?" Alicia asked, keeping her tone polite. "Julian Thorne," the woman repeated. "I need 5 minutes of his time. That's all." Alicia's eyes narrowed slightly. "Mr. Thorne is not available to the public. I know he owns this restaurant," the woman said. "And I know he's upstairs. Please, just tell him someone is asking to speak with him." "And you are?" "My name is Emily Rivera." "Do you have an appointment, Ms. Rivera?" "No, but I promise if he hears what I have to say, he won't regret it." Alicia's hand hovered over the phone. This kind of thing happened from time to time. Eccentrics, opportunists, dreamers, all trying to get a foot in Julian Thorne's door. But there was something in the woman's voice, calm, clear, no desperation, just purpose. "I'll see if he's available," Alicia said finally. Emily gave a grateful nod and stepped aside, rain still dripping from the hem of her coat onto the marble floor. Alicia picked up the sleek black phone and pressed a code. 2 floors up, in a private glass-walled suite that overlooked the restaurant from above, a phone rang. Julian Thorne was already reading. He sat alone at a table built from ancient oak, his espresso untouched, a tablet in front of him filled with quarterly reports and venture capital projections. The city glowed behind him, blurred in the mist on the windows. Everything in the room was curated, the soft lighting, the geometric art, the rare books arranged just so. A place for thought, a place for control. He tapped the answer key. "A woman is here," Alicia's voice said. "She's asking to speak with you." Julian didn't look up. "Name?" "Emily Rivera. No appointment. Soaked through, wearing boots that tracked mud on my floor." Julian finally raised his head. "What does she want?" She didn't say. Only that it's important. He tapped his finger once against the table. He'd sent security away for the evening, hoping for a few quiet hours. And yet, something about the timing made him pause. "Send her up." "Sir?" "You heard." Julian ended the call. Moments later, Emily was escorted to the private elevator. Alicia didn't hide her curiosity or her disapproval, but she didn't speak as she watched the elevator doors close behind the strange woman from the storm. When the doors opened again, Emily stepped into silence. The top floor of Lucent felt like another universe, quieter, darker, and somehow colder despite the warm lights. Julian Thorne stood at the far end, tall and still, his suit crisp, his expression unreadable. He studied her as she approached. "You've got 5 minutes," he said. "Use them well." Emily didn't flinch. "Mr. Thorne, I run a small soup kitchen in Brooklyn. 2 nights ago, our landlord gave us an ultimatum. He's doubling the rent. We can't pay, and if we can't pay, we shut down. That means hundreds of people, kids, single parents, elderly, go hungry." Julian waited, expression neutral. "I'm not asking for a handout," she said quickly. "I'm asking for a deal." "A deal?" "I need $150,000. I'll work for it. Here, anywhere. I'll wash dishes, mop floors, run deliveries, anything. You won't be giving me anything for free." Julian's eyebrows lifted, if only slightly. "You walked into a Billionaire's restaurant, asked to meet the owner, and offered to mop the floors in exchange for a 6-figure sum." "Yes. You do realize how that sounds." "I know how it sounds," she said. "But it doesn't make it any less real." She stepped forward and placed a manila folder on the table between them. "Here are our records. Donations, expenses, food logs, attendance numbers. We're efficient. No admin fluff, no corruption. We just feed people." Julian opened the folder and skimmed a few pages. Everything was handwritten, clean, organized. Receipts taped in place. Names blacked out for privacy. A notebook from the trenches, not a pitch deck. "And you're offering me your labor?" "Yes, I don't want your pity. I want a chance." He closed the folder. "I don't invest in feelings, Ms. Rivera. I invest in returns." "I understand, but hunger has a return too, just not the kind you can chart on a spreadsheet." He looked at her, and for a second something flickered in his eyes. Curiosity? Recognition? It was gone before she could be sure. "Leave the folder," he said. "Come back tomorrow. 3 p.m. Kitchen shift." Emily blinked. "Are you serious?" "We'll see if you are." And just like that, the meeting was over. The next day at 3 sharp, Emily showed up at the staff entrance of Lucent. A chef named Marco handed her an apron and led her straight into the fire. Chop onions, fast, uniform, no waste. The kitchen was chaos. Flames leapt, orders barked. She burned herself within the first hour, nearly dropped a tray of amuse-bouches, and had to slice vegetables so fast her fingers cramped. But she didn't quit. She came back the next day. And the next. Each night, she left exhausted and blistered, then returned to Brooklyn to help clean up after the dinner rush at the soup kitchen. She napped for minutes at a time on the train, then started all over again. She never asked again about the money. Julian watched from his office night after night. He saw her rinse out sinks at midnight. He saw her carry boxes twice her size, up narrow stairs. He saw her win over skeptical chefs and broken dishwashers alike. A week later, he walked into the kitchen just as she was scrubbing the floor, sleeves rolled to her elbows, knuckles red and raw. "You passed," he said. She looked up, confused. "Passed what?" "My test." He handed her a check. She stared at the numbers. $150,000, her mouth opened, but no sound came out. "I don't understand." "You earned it. You didn't beg. You didn't manipulate. You worked." Emily tried to hand the check back. "I said I'd work for it. I haven't done nearly enough." "You've done more than most executives I've hired," Julian said. "But if you want to do more, I have another offer." She looked up. "I want you to run something for me. A new branch of Thorne Enterprises, community programs. Real ones, soup kitchens, clinics, education centers. Use my money, your passion, build something." She didn't answer, just nodded, slowly, and then smiled. 3 months later, the soup kitchen had doubled in size. 2 new centers opened in underprivileged neighborhoods, offering not just food, but job training and healthcare support. Julian never asked for credit, but at the entrance to every building, there was a plaque that read, "In partnership with Thorne Enterprises." On a quiet evening, Emily and Julian stood on the rooftop of the original kitchen in Brooklyn. The city lights shimmered in the distance. Below them, laughter echoed from inside, the sound of people sharing meals, stories, and warmth. I used to think everything had a price, Julian said softly. And now? Emily asked. Now I know some things have value far beyond money. Like soup? She teased. He smiled, truly smiled. Like hope. They stood together in silence, watching. The city breathed beneath them, and for once it didn't matter who had how much. It mattered who gave more.